Happy Monday, everybody. Oh, I hear the lawn guys from another neighborhood or another street. Anyways, happy Monday, everybody. Welcome back to Reality Water Cooler. I am Sarah from Texas, and this is our place to chat all the latest reality TV. And of course, Jeff Lewis and Jeff Lewis Extended. Oh my gosh, he stayed on the show the entire hour. I almost think this is how it's going to go, like, unless he absolutely needs to be somewhere. You know what I mean? Like, he had started staying longer and longer on the Jeff Lewis Live after show, and now it's called Jeff Lewis Extended on channel 102. So, hopefully it's easier for all of us to listen to. They sure seem to not scare, but MJ and Doug when he said, "How do you like it now that you've gone from 5 audience listeners?" Which I'm like, okay, was I one of the 5? Since I've listened from day 1, June 2023. And he said to over 1 million. And he threw out that number. I was like, oh my God, 1 million listeners. But then I heard Doug mumble, it's not 1 million. So I don't know. Who knows? Anyways, how are you? If you were surviving horrific winter weather, I hope you're doing okay. Shout out OGs. How are you? Karen and Melanie and Pina. Hello. Julie says new member. Welcome, welcome, welcome. Okay, let's get started. Today, we're going to chat about Andy Cohen, episode 5 of Traitors that I was supposed to talk about last week, and I got emotionally sidetracked, and then episode 6 that just dropped Thursday night on Peacock. Andy Cohen live. First of all, yesterday was Ben's 5th birthday, his actual birthday, and he hosted his birthday party. So if you don't listen to Andy Cohen live, it's Monday through Thursday. In Texas, it's 9 a.m. to 10 a.m. With his ex-boyfriend, John Hill. John Hill's in London right now. But Andy gives a lot of his personal side. Like, this is his way. Like, he doesn't really have much time with Watch What Happens Live and obviously the reunions. He might talk his personal life to the housewives and Southern Charm and all the, I think he's doing the reunion of the Traitors. Anyways, but he gets very honest about parenthood, dating, what he thinks about, the housewives stuff that's going on. So he was telling us about Ben's birthday and how he didn't watch the Grammys because he was exhausted physically, emotionally, all the things from hosting his son's birthday party. And then he had booked a massage at 9:00. So he wanted to get that in. So that's why he didn't watch the Grammys. But like the first 13, 15 minutes of the show today is his reaction to Kandi Burruss announcing yesterday that she was leaving Real Housewives of Atlanta. It was very sweet, very emotional. He gave a lot of details I wasn't expecting. He obviously knew about it. I guess people on social media were saying, oh, Kandi did him wrong by announcing this. No, he absolutely knew about it. He just didn't know when she was going to announce it. So I guess maybe she was asked on the red carpet at the Grammys, or that's when she made a post. He has since made a post, but he said a lot of things like over the years, she would call and give advice on how they're marketing the show, how they should have more diversity, just ways they should handle things on and off the air, and how he took that always into consideration and really respected her a lot. He also said that tomorrow, maybe, possibly, I think he said, he will go into more details about the future of Real Housewives of Atlanta. So, it's kind of been talked about. I don't follow ratings. I know there's some accounts that follow ratings and post all that. I don't really know what that means. If you just tell me it had, a third the ratings or a third the viewers than 2 seasons ago, then that makes more sense to me. But all these numbers don't really mean anything because now you can watch it on Bravo and on Peacock. People watch clips of it on YouTube. I mean, I feel like some people don't even listen to shows anymore, watch them. They just watch the video clips on TikTok and YouTube. So I think ratings are a little bit different than they were like in the 60s. You know what I mean? Anyways, it was really good. He gave her a lot of love though. And I'm just curious. It does seem like Real Housewives of Atlanta is maybe on its downward fall. I don't really know. Maybe she's just jumping ship before the ratings get bad. I don't really know. Coincidentally, MJ is on the after. Well, I can't call it that anymore. Jeff Lewis Extended. I mean, even Jeff can't get the name right, right? Anyways, and she is still on the Traitors season 2, the US version. So last week I was going to recap episode 5. You've probably already watched. Tell me in comments, are you watching the Traitors? Are you like Doug and me and didn't quite finish season 1 because you just ran out of time? Even though Brandy Glanville was on, I really wanted to watch it. But now you're watching season 2 because MJ's on it and they're talking about it a lot. So anyways, episode 5, Phaedra says to Parvati, I'm not an actress. And that really pissed her off, talking about Dan. So Dan is very cutthroat. This is all spoiler alert, by the way, if you don't want to hear about what's happened on the Traitors. La, 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 la. Oh, Mary says I'm addicted to Traitors. Love it. That's good to know. Are you current? Because if not, we need to watch season 1. Season 1 was good food. Food? Like the food in Scotland? Or like the breakfast? Was it better than season 2? Because season 2 looks like a spread. Okay. So already on episode 5, the goal of this is sort of to pick off a traitor. So in the beginning, 2 traitors were picked. They had the option to pick a third one. They picked Parvati. Parvati? I'm going to say that name wrong. It's going to sound like I'm saying poverty, and I'm not. Parvati. And Tamara got murdered in episode 5. So I had heard rumors that she actually left because she was having some GI issues. They never talked about that. She didn't talk about it afterwards. She actually cried when they call it murdered, but they're obviously not really murdered. It's just you have the option to be banished, which is where the whole group tries to pick literally one of the traitors versus one of the faithfuls, which means you're not, how do you explain it? You're not out to get the others. You're not, they're all trying for the money though. I don't know. Anyways, so far they have not picked a traitor yet. They keep knocking off faithfuls accidentally, right? So they're not adding to their pot, because if those people get kicked off, if one is ended, they get all the money. Okay, so that's how it works. And then they play games, which I usually fast forward through on Peacock, honestly, to get, I think they usually earn $10,000 or $15,000 towards it. So I think they're up to, I want to say they're up to $75,500 now. If anyone knows what they got in season 1, I guess it can all vary. Obviously, maybe season 2, there's more money. Maybe the ratings were better. Maybe Peacock is putting more money into the thing. But also, it all depends on if they win these games or not, these contests, if you will. And also if they kick off traitors, because I think that affects who's going to get the money, right? Anyways, so Peter is lies to everyone about having the shield. So he and Janelle win the shield, and they make a brilliant decision, in my opinion, to confide in 2 or 3 different people and see how it plays out. And it absolutely worked in his favor, because they end up picking him, which he ended up having the shield. So, because they lied about who had it. Kate Chastain came back. She was also, I did just watch her on Watch What Happens Live recently. She doesn't say, we don't know how long she ends up staying on. Clearly, they can't announce how long they stay on the show, right? Even Jeff, which y'all tell me in comments, do you think MJ has like whispered to Jeff, hey, I won, or I went the farthest? I don't know. I doubt it. I mean, she's got to have signed like a huge contract to not say anything, but I just wonder if they tell anyone, like even their husband. Like, can she tell Tommy? Can she tell their mom? Clearly she can't tell her kid, right? Can't tell Shamps. He would go to preschool and maybe blab it on accident. Anyways, but in episode 5, Dan and Janelle turn on each other bad. They are both Big Brother people. They both claim they know the game that they're playing. It is a game. So even though they say they should have integrity and honesty, I mean, at the end of the day, celebrity Big Brother, regular Big Brother, all of that is playing a game in lying, deception, faking. All of that is a game. So I think some podcasters would be really good at that. Anyways, so Bergie and Trishelle, I don't even know what that meant. I wrote that down. I don't even know what that meant. Anyways, episode 6, the one that came on Thursday night. By the way, this is on Peacock, so you do have to pay for it. I think eventually, just like the Ultimate Girls Trip stuff, they will put it all out on Bravo. I would say for free, but nothing's for free. We all pay for cable or satellite or, streaming or what have you, right? Um, anyway, so in episode 6, Bergie had the shield, so he couldn't get murdered. I think I said Peter. Bergie had the shield and they picked him. So he ends up walking in and everyone looks at him. Uh, the round table, everyone is supposed to plead their case. Oh my goodness. Dan made the ballsy move of coming after Phaedra. And if you haven't seen the clip yet, even Andy Cohen was talking about it again today, how her attorney side came out and she was like, don't you freaking come for me. He absolutely came from her. He came for her and Poverty, which is both the other traitors. So either way, he was vying to get one of them out because he knew it was all or nothing. It was either going to work or it wasn't. And it absolutely didn't. I think my friend Jenny with Bravo and Blaze, I think I caught a clip of this. I need to message her. I think she interviewed Dan recently on her podcast. So y'all go check that out. I know she's on YouTube, Instagram, everywhere, Bravo and Blaze. Anyway, so she loves a lot of shows. I mean, clearly we all do, right? Anyway, so Dan got banished. He was the first traitor out. At the very end, they have to either pick a new traitor or murder someone. So they pick Peter. So we have not seen what will happen. We don't even know if he decides to agree to be a traitor or not. It was a pretty ballsy move because he's very well liked. He has this public alliance with 5 or 6 people. They haven't made a secret about it anymore. I mean, they're in this house. I don't think they can really hide when 5 or 6 people, when Poverty walks by and they're like, oh, can you give us a second? And then they shut the door so they can talk. She's like, okay, like, hello. Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness. Okay, let's look at the comments real quick. Robin says Candy is too busy to do on Atlanta. And was not present much on last season. She's on to bigger and better. Go Candy. So you think she's just going out because also, didn't she have 2 or 3 kids now? Don't they have 2 little ones? And then her oldest one, is it Riley? I feel like her name is Riley. Oh my God. I remember Riley when she was like a little 11-year-old on the show. My gosh. Now she's a grown ass adult. Melanie says, if I were playing a game, Phaedra would be the first person I would align with. I mean, she's an attorney. I mean, talk about, you should be trustworthy, right? For sure. Mary said Phaedra came at him hard. Her facial expressions were priceless. I mean, that game is all about, you're faking it because clearly she is a traitor. She was picked by the show to be a traitor. I don't think you have an option not to be, right? But she has to lie and act like she's a faithful. That's the whole point of the game, is not getting kicked off. She wants to be one of the last ones. So you have to be deceptive. The ones that are faithfuls are saying they're faithfuls, but everyone else could be saying they're a faithful, right? Oh, that's a good question, Chris. They don't show, do they stay there overnight or somewhere else? I can't tell. It started off with like 13 people. It started off with a lot of people, but somebody is murdered and then somebody is banished almost every single day, I think. So, but if you win, you could be there for weeks. That's why Jeff says he was asked and he just said no. Like, I can't, if I were to win, I can't be gone for weeks on end. I share custody with my daughter and I have a job and, I can't do that. So, oh, wait, Sarah says, okay, is this true? I don't know. They stay near the airport in a normal hotel. Yeah, they don't show their rooms at this house at all. Okay, everyone says they stay in a hotel. Okay, that's fascinating. I wonder why they don't talk. Thank you, ALW. Peach is my color. Thank you. Okay, well, that makes sense because they don't talk about the rooms at all, do they? Okay. Speaking of rooms, sort of, Doug was on. We chatted about this a little bit on my subscriber only Ask Me Anything. That's also on YouTube yesterday. And somehow I remember talking about Doug and like, if he really does this, Doug Airbnb, where he hosts the chumps that come on Jeff Lewis Live at his house once his roommate does move out. So anyways, Doug was on the after show, I can't call it the after show. Jeff Lewis Extended. Even the woman that does the voiceover work for Radio Andy, who Andy just had on her Instagram like a week or two ago. So we put a face to the voice, right? She made all new. You hear her saying, Jeff Lewis Extended, or coming up next, Jeff Lewis Extended. And I was like, oh my God, it's so official, so official. So today was Liz Rome and Michael Hitchcock. Okay, real quick, they talked a lot about Jeff's dating. He was inviting Michael Hitchcock to come to speed dating with him. But it's gay speed dating. It's men interested in men, because it's Doug, who is gay, openly gay. All these people I'm clearly not outing. Jeff Lewis, Chaz Dean, which I've never heard anything about his sexuality either way, but I'm making the leap that he might be a gay man if he's going to speed dating with gays, right? I don't know anything about Michael Hitchcock. I don't know his movies. I don't know much of his personal life, but they didn't really clarify at all. And then I heard a female call in, not really trying to date him, but saying basically, you're such a catch. You should try to date. I don't know. I was so confused. Okay. Roro says MJ said in a podcast they stay at the castle. That's a good question. Okay. So I think MJ, let me try to think of the lineup this week. I want to say MJ is on Jeff Lewis Live this Friday, and I can't remember with who. I don't have it in front of me. Oh, my phone. I guess I could look at my phone. So maybe somebody should call in and ask her about that. I think she could say that. Like, that's not something that's ruining. I can't find her on my phone real quick. That's not something that's ruining this. Oh, he said he's a gay man. Okay. I totally missed that. Okay. He said he went on a date with a guy. Okay. Tiffany Chump, you're helping me out. Thank you. Helping me out. Everyone knew that. See, it's on Justin Martindale's, which is called Just Saying with Justin Martindale. Okay. Good to know. Thank you so much. Okay. So Jeff opens up. Marlo, his attorney, who's become his friend, set him up. He says it's a Disney gay. He had the date on Friday. I think this is the guy he ends up calling Weather Guy, who he ends up texting later because MJ is flying on the red eye to New York to do something for the Traitors, not the reunion yet. And Jeff actually texts this storm chaser because that's the guy's hobby. He does live in LA. It is raining a lot right now in LA. I know there's a lot of severe weather and school closures, and I think they're saying to stay off the streets if you can. Of course, Jeff was like, no way, I'm doing my show. But this guy has got to be in heaven. I don't know if all storm chasers, what's that movie that's real big with Helen Hunt? They did like a 1 and 2 of it, I think, right? 1 and part 2. Anyways, there's a whole thing to this. I almost think people chase tornadoes though. So hopefully LA doesn't get tornadoes like some people in like the Midwest, like Oklahoma and stuff. But that's definitely a hobby. But it made me think, what are Jeff Lewis's hobbies? What are your hobbies? Like, do people have hobbies? I guess like crocheting is a hobby, hiking is a hobby, scuba diving is a hobby, scrapbooking is a hobby. Yeah, but I think when this guy that Andy Cohen set him up with says, what are your hobbies? Jeff has talked about this. Like, he's like, I love to work. Like, my career doesn't feel like a job because I love it so much. I enjoy it so much. But then this caller called in, I think on the after show, and it was really sweet. And she was totally pumping him up. Like, you absolutely have a life. You listen to and Doug was saying, you're into real estate, you're into cars, you're a foodie. And he was like, well, and then Shane says, is that a foodie or a fatty? I don't know. What are his hobbies? I think Chick-fil-A, I think Chili's, I think, El Pollo Loco. I think that can be a hobby. Oh, I love that. Tiffany Chump says Tiffany Chump says being a chump is a hobby. And he sort of said that, right? He said, I love my friends. Yes. Annette says Bravo is my hobby. Yeah. People try to put mean things in my comments and they're like, you need a better hobby. And I'm like, what better hobby than reality TV and Jeff Lewis? Like, sorry, not sorry. Hello, hello. Ooh, Melanie, when we have tornadoes locally, I love watching the storm chasers on YouTube, but they're in a lot of danger. Do they go live on YouTube? I'm assuming they do, right? Ooh, that is scary. I guess that's part of the danger though, right? That's why people get their phones out and they're recording when there's horrific stuff going on around them, right? They get their phone out, right? Um, T for D, sharks. I love that. Sharks and T and for D are his hobbies. That's actually really funny. Somebody should have called in and said that for sure. Uh, I've never. Okay, has anyone ever heard of AFOL? Louise, I'm an AFOL, adult fan of Legos. Helped me through depression, got my mind to stop worrying and concentrate on creating Lego houses, buildings, and so much more. Okay, I love that. I've never heard of that. Um, I actually know several adults into weather. I won't say they're into storm chasing, but they're into weather. A lot of my friends are into weather. They can tell me any band and cold front, warm front, all the things, when it's going to rain, when it's not going to rain, all of that stuff. But I do know two people that I can think of that are adults that love Legos, and it's probably in here, but one of my daughter's ex-boyfriends got her this New York landscape of Legos for Christmas one time, and it was really cute. Yeah, that is cool. Anyway, so this guy's a Disney gay. I don't know. He's got his PhD, his master's. It was a 3-hour date, which is a good thing, but he asked Jeff what he thinks of open relationships, and I think all of them were like third red flag. You know who he hasn't talked about in a while? Did he drop him? Tequila and Red Bull. Remember all the red flags they were saying about that guy? He had known that guy, unless I'm getting them all mixed up. I literally need a spreadsheet and I don't have one made. Uh, that guy was like this on and off for 5 years thing, like when Jeff would have a breakup, when that guy would have a breakup. So, but the red flags were the tequila and Red Bull. They were saying that that's a drug drink, they were saying. The fact that he had a oversized gray sweatpants on, the fact that he didn't wash his hands, and that the fact that he peed with the door open. But I think that, not that you should do that, but I think it's because he knew Jeff, I think, way more than we knew he knew Jeff. Like this wasn't their first 3 or 4 dates. You know what I mean? Yeah, people do crochet, they color. Oh my God. I bought so many adult and teenage cool coloring books during COVID and cool pens and stuff, just paint by number. We did this water paint by number that erases. We bought all that stuff during COVID because God no, we did puzzles. I mean, talk about a time to find some hobbies was during COVID for sure, right? Oh no, tea with Tambo. Jeff's hobbies are losing friends and picking terrible men who stink and doesn't wear deodorant. Who doesn't wear deodorant? I don't know if that's a hobby. Um, yeah, I think Robin says, I think Jeff is sticking to potential relationship men. He's definitely said that. Uh, he's just not a casual dating type of person. Okay, did you hear Michael Hitchcock? If y'all are in the Houston area, we have a long time restaurant. I think it's open 24 hours. It's kind of one of those breakfast, lunch, dinner, deli type places that has great pies. It is called House of Pies. I think it's got multiple owners, but we know someone whose family member owns the House of Pies because it caught on fire a couple years ago. They rebuilt it, all these things. I actually went there with friends right around the holidays. 3 of us, 4 of us went there. Can't remember. And it's an icon. It's been here forever. I thought it was the only one. I've never been in another city and seen a House of Pies. So when Michael Hitchcock mentioned it, I was like, what? I literally wrote it down. I was like, it's a chain. So let me know if House of Pies. So our House of Pies has like all the things for breakfast, all these pies, sandwiches, deli sandwiches, things like that. Like I had no idea it was a chain. No idea. I don't know. Jeff has been single and dating around longer than I expected him to be. I sort of thought he would get snatched up and get into a relationship. I think he's enjoying, which is good, right? He's been in long-term relationships a long time. And now, I mean, it almost sounds like, because he mentioned today another guy that was a long-term relationship that they were dating, and the guy moved to San Francisco, it sounds like, for his job, and that guy ended up cheating on him. So now we've heard of a few people that have cheated on Jeff. So I don't know, maybe I think he still wants to be monogamous and in a relationship, a single committed relationship. But if you have that many people, that many relationships that have ended with cheating, I think it would make you hesitant or not as trusting. I don't know. Let's get into the very first ever Jeff Lewis Extended on channel 102. I wonder. So I was listening to it and clearly paused it, and then it started going around in circles. I was about to take a shower, and it went, and I always pause it when it goes that. So when I played it for a little bit more, it was going around in circles. I was like, maybe it's the app. Maybe it's not channel 789. Maybe it's going to be channel 102 also. And then it finally stopped, and then I was able to play the rest of the extended show. Anyways, but I was almost like, crap, this is not going to be better. It has to be better. Like, it has to, first of all, I'm assuming they will re-air both hours. I don't know. The plan originally was that these would also re-air on channel 789. Now they keep saying it'll be archive shows, but technically a replay is an archive show, right? So let me know if anyone still listens to 789 and hears a very current, as in like today's show, replayed later or tomorrow on channel 789, because I'm really not sure how that was gonna work out for sure. Tina Ball says we have a Polly's Pie in Southern California. Is that a chain? Because I haven't heard of that one. How is the app? I mean, I think it was good. As long as it plays the dang show, that's all I want. I mean, I'm not in my car, and even if you are in your car, you can't stop and start your car. You can't pause live radio, satellite radio. So today was Doug Buden and MJ. They're really good together. Doug was on with Carney a lot. I know I saw one of Carney's Instagram stories yesterday. She was so sweet, talking about, be safe in all this weather. And she said something, she had to drive into somewhere to tomorrow, which would be today, for work. So I don't know what she was doing, but she's busy. She does voiceover work. Obviously, she does concerts. She does Jeff Lewis. She does a lot of reality shows and competition shows. So it was really cool. Wait, Melanie says, what? I'm embarrassed at how aggravating it was to change the channel for the afternoon show. I'm glad we can just keep listening now. Yeah. And don't think, okay, I got sidetracked and couldn't listen to all of Radio Andy Live today, but I was wondering if any chumps were going to call in and say, hey, I'm so excited to have Jeff Lewis Extended on channel 102 today. Clearly, I ain't going to be that girl, because he did not like it. What was it, a month or 6 weeks ago, when I called in and say, oh my God, I'm so excited. It sounds, this would be great if this was moved to the after show. And he was like, what? Why? Why does it need to be? What's the problem with switching to channel 789? And I'm like, oh my God, never mind. Never mind. Okay, what did y'all think of Doug and Jeff's financial talk? So on Friday, Vicki Gunvalson was on. She taught us a lot about insurance. Today, and we've heard this before, Jeff and Doug have a lot in common, as much as Jeff probably doesn't want to admit that. But every morning they check they kind of check their banks. They have, MJ even says she has it set up where the credit cards email her or something if any charges over $1 go through. Now that would be a lot of emails, right? Maybe she doesn't have 5 kids, but that would be a lot of emails. But that's not a bad idea to stay on top of things. These scammers are getting so good with things. And I know my bank will send me a text message if something's fishy. So one time somebody did a $5 charge and they got a gift certificate, which is an odd price. I mean, it wasn't a Starbucks. It was like a sporting place, like a Dick's or Academy, but some place that was only online also. And then they tried to buy gas or something. So then my bank called me instantly and said, hey, this doesn't look like normal activity on your account. So then we knew, and instantly they shut the card down. But yeah, if you were able to approve charges as they came through, then you would know if anything was a problem immediately, right? So Jeff and Doug love knowing what's going on with their financing. Every Saturday, Jeff like meets with his, bookkeeper or whatever he calls him. He gave his name today. It was a new guy's name. I guess it's not Travis anymore. Was it Travis that was on? He had mentioned recently his accountant going, off or leaving to do something else maybe. But Doug and Jeff definitely are on top of their finances. I love at the beginning of the show, the attorney called or at the end. Yeah. I think at the end of either at the beginning of the show of Jeff Lewis Extended or the end of Jeff Lewis Live. I can't remember which it was. Probably the beginning of Extended. Jeff was getting a call from his attorneys and he's like, oh, that's not a good sign. And then they started talking about what they pay them and how much thousands. And Doug has a brain like me. If you're going to pay money, you might as well make rewards on it, right? I put everything on a credit card that I can, unless they charge me a fee for it, because then the rewards get canceled out, right? But Doug was basically like, can you pay your attorney with your credit card and earn like miles or points or a check back? And he was like, oh my God, that's a good idea. For some reason, Doug and I have always talked, we both love hotels.com. We love a reward. We love a credit card that specifically gives you rewards. I almost think Jeff doesn't utilize, like, I think he just wants to keep everything easier. Like, I don't know. I almost feel like he doesn't take advantage of the rewards like he should. Although I've definitely heard him ask Shane, like, did we use points for that? Like if they have to cancel a flight, he makes sure to use those, credits or whatever you want to call it. So he's definitely good with money, right? Wait, what? What are y'all talking about? Are y'all talking about Marie Callender's? Yes, that restaurant. I don't think I've ever eaten at one. I don't think they're huge in Houston. I heard when you said they do have frozen pot pies in the stores, I knew you were talking about Marie Callender's. I cannot imagine. Melanie, can you imagine Jeff's credit card points? I cannot imagine his bill. I mean, it's business and it's written off, but still it's not dollar for dollar, right? Um, I mean, just what he spends on hotels for people, for chumps that are staying for Jeff Lewis Live, uh, drinks when they go out to dinner, his traveling, all of that. I mean, I guess it's Jeff Lewis Design. I guess it's under a business, but I don't really know. Yes, Marie Callender's. We do have that in the Walmart. So we can buy that stuff, but it's very high fat. Like I'm sure it's delicious, but very high fat for sure. Anyways, okay, then they start talking. So let me know what you think. Jeff talks about Brogan. Brogan is so cute. I think he's a producer in TV, something like that. So very good job. Clearly, he's got a catch. He's got Shane as his man. He's so handsome, though. So Jeff today was talking about how not handsome Shane's ex of 5 years was, and that guy ended up cheating on him. So then Jeff was like, I'm glad now you're with Brogan. He's so cute. And if you're going to have a guy cheat on you, it might as well be a super hot guy, right? So then they start talking about, do you choose loyalty over looks? It almost sounded like, and I don't know that I would want to be put in that category because that means like you're not hot, you're not pretty, you're not handsome, you're not cute. But it almost seems like MJ was like, yeah, definitely loyalty over looks, like, dating the nerds. Like, is that a good thing? I don't know. Oh, that's true. Will says he pays the credit card. Okay, is that what they were talking about? I have never heard of this. I think Doug was saying this too. This is why y'all always pay more attention than I do. Will says he pays the credit card bill weekly so he doesn't see the huge bills. I thought that's what Doug was saying about his credit card bills. And I thought, well, why would you do that? You're not charged interest until the whole bill is due. I don't know. I guess I don't hassle with that. Like, unless it's going to charge me interest, I just pay it by the due date. Oh, she was talking about Doug, it seemed, Tiffany says, that MJ was talking about Doug. I love, though, did you hear Jeff say, give Doug some credit? He's like, "The boys like you, like, they really like you, Doug." And he was like, "Oh, how nice." I think Doug is not shy, I think he's more private, and even Jeff was telling him last week on the after show that, he's like, "Hey, I share everything. I tell you about all my dating stuff, and you're keeping this from me. You didn't tell me about this date with this married guy, some guy married to a woman in Phoenix that Vicky was totally outing him on." It was kind of funny. Okay, what did you think? So Jeff is friends with Tamara, Vicky, and Shannon. Vicky was on Jeff Lewis Live Friday, said, she was very hurt that Tamara went to the Paris guy, this producer, whatever his name is, the dude in charge of the shows, and said, "I'm not going to do all these shows," instead of going to Shannon and Vicky. So that really hurt her. Vicky even said she had heard we were talking about it behind her back. We weren't talking behind her back. We were talking in front of her face, which I thought, well, is that any better? Like, I don't know. We saw Vicky. If you saw Tamara, she made an Instagram story. It's probably already gone now, but she was very upset that Vicky said that. She was like, "I heard you said this, and that's not true." So apparently Tamara was busy this weekend because Doug was on the phone with her. I think, was MJ also? No, I don't feel like MJ's friends with I don't know, maybe she is. Jeff was definitely on the phone with Tamara. Doug, I think, said he was on maybe Doug or Jeff or both were on the phone with Vicky, Tamara, and Shannon this weekend. And Jeff definitely said he told Tamara, "Look, I don't think you should have said that. I think you should have a private conversation with them." She basically said that she's too busy. She's got these 3 podcasts. So I did see something. So she's got 2 T's in a pod with Teddy. Thank you, Melanie. Please hit the like button and show Sarah some love. Thank you, Melanie. And another podcast MJ said she's gonna recap the Traitors. Like, she was kicked off the 5th or 6th person. I don't know. Why are you recapping the Traitors? And then another podcast, I think, is with the husbands. Is it all 4 of them? Maybe Teddy, Edward, and then Eddie and Tamara? So 3 different podcasts? I don't know. I'm going to venture to say Vicky's probably busier than all of them. Vicky has, I think, 4 now grandchildren, a business that she's hugely involved in. She flies to Puerto Vallarta often. She flies. Are they in Oklahoma still? I feel like they moved. I feel like Brianna and her family moved from Oklahoma, but now I can't think where they moved to. Does anyone know? Y'all know Tamara's going to stick her nose in on the Traitors. Yeah, I'm almost curious. I would almost think that would be in their contract that they can't do a recap about the show they were just on that season. I could see if they did it afterwards. I don't know. Oh, I love that. Vina says, "I do the daily account checking too, but I'm a Virgo. So is my mother. So I was taught to balance accounts daily." Brianna was in North Carolina a year or so ago, and then they moved back to Oklahoma. They're there again. Okay. What do they do? I know isn't she a nurse or like an ER nurse? And then obviously they have, I think, 4 kids now. So very busy. Very busy. Wait, okay. Louise, y'all are letting me know. They moved from North Carolina to Illinois, now to Oklahoma. Okay. Phaedra should do the recap. So why who were people trying to, CT with Phaedra? Doesn't she have a boyfriend that's a doctor? That's how she got on Married to Medicine now? Or have they already broken up? Did she do Married to Medicine and now they're broken up? I literally obsess over all these people, but I just can't keep up with them all. And I try to keep up with all my 90 Day Fiance people that are together, people that are broken up. LTJ, I listened to Tamara's recap with Janelle on Traitors, and Tamara was more like a moderator or leading the questions. So, what's her podcast called? Um, oh, Phaedra broke up with her doctor boyfriend. Does that mean she won't be on Married to Medicine next season? Like, how does that work? Was she jumping ship from Real Housewives of Atlanta also? Like, so many questions. Um, what else? Okay, I already talked about it, but Jeff stayed the whole hour. Do you think Jeff is gonna keep staying the whole hour on Jeff Lewis Extended as long as he can? I I think somebody posted on Sarah from Texas Facebook group, and I think someone said that I hope he stays the first, uh, commercial break, through the first commercial break, but then he lets the other people. I don't know. I think for ratings, I think they'll see how it goes. I think he always wants to give the chumps, the co-host their fair shot in all of their content, but I think we know that people might stay on more if Jeff is on. I don't know. Ooh, talk on the street. I love a talk on the street, Melanie. In Atlanta, is that she only got with him to get on Married to Medicine, but I don't care because I love Phaedra. And don't forget when Phaedra got canceled for lying about Candy, or was it Candy? Oh my God, whatever that reunion was. And it was something about their sex life and the sex, I don't know, who knows what it was. It was crazy. Um, oh, okay. LTD says Jeff said last week he would be there for the first half, but today obviously it was longer. Yeah, because at the very end he was like, "Oh, the show's over. That was our first full day of Jeff Lewis Extended." Yeah. Ooh, Louise says, "I'm still mad at Phaedra about Candy. Has Candy and Phaedra made up?" That's what I'm not up to date on. Did anyone see this? Made me think of it because clearly she hasn't gone Instagram Live lately, but Kim, uh, Kim and Croy, what's their freaking last name? I can't think of their last name. Anyways, Kim Zolciak Bierman, went Instagram Live yesterday, but she was showing like how to use makeup and stuff. So I jumped off pretty quickly. Anyways, hey Melanie, how are you? Um, yes, that's right. Hold on, where did that go? Phaedra said that Candy had drugged Portia. Yeah, that was crazy. Crazy. Is Apollo out? We've got 2 more minutes. We're gonna wrap things up. Is Apollo out of jail, or is Phaedra raising the 2 boys all by herself? Apollo, her ex, did all kinds of stuff, caused people not to like Phaedra. I blame Apollo, not Phaedra, Venus says. Interesting, interesting. Oh, that's good news or good gossip. Candy has said she will never work on Real Housewives of Atlanta with Phaedra again. So she has not forgiven her. Anyways, crazy, crazy, crazy. What else? Or we're going to wrap it up. He didn't show up to her son's birthday. So he is out of prison, right? I feel like he is. Does she still have the funeral? What do you not makeup business? I know there's a whole more no, what's it called where you take care of people and make them presentable physically after they pass away. Embalming business. Does she still have that? Does she own like wow, she's got a lot of business. What is 310? I heard something about this. Gay says Kim Zolciak sold her company to 310 this weekend. Okay, is that gonna put them in a financial why didn't they do this before? Is that gonna let them pay off their house or pay off any liens? Don't they have liens against their house? I don't even understand what in their house on the market? Like, I don't know, I can't even keep up. You know, all I know is the police, you know, cameras that we see. It's crazy. Yes, Candy's definitely officially lost or left Real Housewives of Atlanta. She is a mortician. Is she still an attorney though? AL, love you. I would trust Phaedra to do my final makeup. Oh, that sounds so sad. Final makeup. Oh my gosh. Um, interesting. Oh, I don't know what y'all are talking about on Reddit. I am not on Reddit. I have never in my life had a Reddit account. I did hear of some interesting things this weekend, so I don't know what's true, what's not true. Anyways, thank you so much for joining live. It is way more fun. Make sure to like, subscribe, comment, all the things. If you were watching on the replay, shout out, hello. Make sure to comment. If you want to listen as a podcast, it's up as Sarah from Texas. Also, my traditional podcast launches every Sunday. I've got a super fun, well, everyone has been I've had myself on, and then yesterday's is with Housewife Historian 2, Lindsay. So check that out. She had me on her podcast last fall-ish, and I was never able, I didn't have a traditional podcast to have guests, and now I do. So anyways, I had her on this Sunday, and she's a fascinating story and super into housewives, has a great take on a lot of the hot topics that we discuss. So check that out at Sarah from Texas. Thank you for joining. I'll see you tomorrow, 12 o'clock Pacific, 3 o'clock Eastern. Same place, same time, YouTube live. Bye, everyone.